everyone. Before I begin, I have some really great news. This podcast episode is now broadcasting or streaming, someone may call it, on the FAM TV Plus network. So, in order to watch this podcast, all you have to do is go on your Roku TV and download the FAM TV Plus app. And this show is now featured on VP1006. The times alternate throughout the week, so you can catch me on there, the Mental Health Diet Show. Listen, y'all, I am so happy and so blessed to be able to have this podcast feature on TV. So once again, go ahead and download the FAM TV Plus app on your Roku channel, or you can also go to famtvplus.com and you can also go ahead and watch the show that way. The channel it is on is VP1006, and if you go and look at the guide, you can see when the Mental Health Diet premieres. So thank you guys so much for rocking out, and for everyone who has listened to an episode. I am just so happy and just so proud of where we are headed and where we're about to go. So thank you so much, and hopefully you tune in. Welcome to the Mental Health Diet Podcast, formerly known as the I'm Good Podcast, where we ask, can what we eat truly heal our minds and bodies? I'm your host, Sharifa Viola, aka Shri, and together we'll dive into practical ways to nourish ourselves through plant-based foods and holistic approaches. Join me each week as we explore different strategies for enhancing our mental health and overall well-being. As a Black woman, I aim to infuse some fun and cultural flair into the mental health space while sharing my personal triumphs over anxiety. Together, let's empower and inspire one another on our journeys towards becoming stronger, better versions of ourselves. Thank you for tuning in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mental Health Diet. If you are new here, what's good, what's poppin'? I'm your host, Sharifa Viola of the Mental Health Diet Podcast, a podcast where we talk about everything between nutrition, mental health, and overall just becoming the best you. So if you are looking to learn the foods to eat to help you become better mentally and physically, I'm sorry, y'all, there is like this gnat. I don't know, y'all. It's like a gnat flying around, so just bear with me. But if you are here and you're trying to learn about what foods you can eat to help you better alleviate your anxiety and depression, if you're trying to figure out how to transform your ultimate self in regards to your mind, body, and spirit, this is the place to be. All right, y'all. So once again, as I always like to say, I love to show gratitude. I want to thank everyone who has listened to any episode, who has watched an episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. And I cannot wait to get started on today's show. All right, y'all. So today we are going to, I'm so sorry. So today we are going to talk about the 7 foods to beat anxiety and depression. So, all right. So right now, as we go into this season, right now, a lot of people experience what they call seasonal depression. This has been a term where a lot of people probably heard of it, or also hear a lot of people just kind of throwing it around as well. They don't necessarily, some people don't really know what it is, but a lot of people feel kind of sad, especially like around the fall months and the winter months, and also around the holidays. So I really want to talk about the 7 foods that you can eat to help you beat anxiety and depression. And also, disclaimer as well, this is not to replace therapy. This is not to replace medication. This is just to give you different tools that you can use. And today's tool is food. So I want to give you a tool that you can use to help your overall mental health in regards to foods that you can eat to help better it. All right, y'all. So just to kind of give you a heads up, a diet rich in nutrient-dense plant-based foods can contribute to mental well-being by providing essential nutrients and antioxidants. So today I am going to give you 10 plant-based foods that you can eat to help your overall mental health. All right, y'all. So the first one on my list is leafy greens. So those include spinach, kale, and your other greens. So these type of greens are packed with magnesium, which can help with the anxiety and depression. So you can do salads with this. You can, there's so many different ways to cook it. If you're like me, I'm a smoothie person. You can always freeze kale. So you can buy a pack of fresh kale and then put it in the freezer, and you can freeze and put in your smoothie. So you can have like a vegetable smoothie. So you can do like kale, pineapple juice, a banana, and whatever else you want to put into, or some protein powder if you are someone who doesn't eat meat, or if you do eat meat, you can still do that. So leafy greens is a food that you can incorporate into your diet. So if you've been feeling like you've been feeling down and you need something to basically pick you up, I would say focus more on eating greens. So focus on eating vegetables. So you want to focus on leafy greens. Like I said, there are tons and tons of leafy greens out there, but for the sake of today's podcast, I'm just talking about the spinach, and I'm also talking about the kale. Also, too, another great place that you can also get recipes as well. It's not sponsored by TikTok, but I like to go on TikTok to find out recipes. So you can type in spinach recipes. You can also put spinach in so many different dishes. So you can make, like you can put spinach and eggs. So some people make, what is it called? Well, it's not plant based, but if you aren't completely plant based and you like to eat eggs, you can do like the egg muffins where you could put, like get a muffin pan, and then in the muffin pan you basically put the egg white or eggs in it, and then you could put like spinach, peppers, whatever. So there's a lot of different things that you can do in regards to your greens and in regards to incorporating into your diet. All right, so number 2 on my list, another food that you can eat to help you beat anxiety and depression or seasonal depression is berries. So we're talking about the blueberries. We're talking about strawberries. These type of berries, all the berries are known to be rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, which can help protect brain cells from stress and support brain function. So, if you've listened to some of my previous episodes on my podcast platform, you know I've talked about the relationship between the foods that we eat and our overall mental health. So, there has been shown in studies that people who brains were to be inflamed, so an inflammation in the brain has caused some people to experience anxiety and depression. And just to kind of give you a background, if you're not familiar as well, just to kind of give a little bit about me. So I am a type 1 diabetic. I started maybe probably like around the age of, I'm type 1 diabetic. I also have a thyroid condition called Graves' disease, if you're not familiar with it. So that it has to do with your thyroid. So I used to have what it was called a goiter. And so in my neck, it used to be like big. And so they removed it. So it was my thyroid. It was an overactive thyroid. And so around that time, maybe around, I want to say like 9 or 10, I used to experience, I would say panic attacks. I didn't really know what it was, but I just know I would kind of get out of breath, and just a lot of different things would occur. And so basically I didn't really know what was going on until I got into college. And so in my studies at the time, I was a dietetics major, and I read that there was a correlation between panic attacks and Graves' disease. And so basically, I really kind of want to give you a background as to why I actually even started this podcast. That's really the biggest reason why I started this podcast. And I am such an advocate about mental health, helping people with anxiety and depression, because it was something that I dealt with when I was younger and didn't even really know what it was. Let me bring the mic a little closer. But yeah, and so it was something that I didn't really know what it was. And I just felt like I really wanted to help people understand what they could do. So, like I said, as someone who was a dietetics major at the time, I ended up learning that food can really help alleviate some of the mental and emotional issues that we may have. Now, obviously, there are some chemical imbalances in some people's brains, and there are some things that you may have to do, whether you have to go to therapy, if you have to take medication, whatever it may be. But these are some things that you can do, some foods that you can do to help alleviate some of that mental stress. Because honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, it's like when you go to the doctor, you don't really hear about these things. You know, you go to the doctor and they tell you like, okay, well, if this is wrong, we're going to fix this with medication, or we're going to fix this with whatever they give you, but they don't actually really provide any information on nutrition. Now, I will say what I have learned as well is that, you know, a lot of these doctors, they take maybe like one course in nutrition. They don't actually take a full course or anything in nutrition. So you can't be too mad at them not providing that information, because they really didn't have that full education. So Another thing that I would like to add a tidbit is that, if you feel like you do need help with eating, I would suggest seeing a dietitian as well. So just to kind of rewind. So I ended up, I didn't get in my degree in dietetics. I actually ended up getting my undergrad degree in health and wellness. And then I also have a master's degree in applied nutrition. And so, like I said, the whole focus and goal, especially for my master or graduate studies, was really to help figure out if there was a relationship between the foods that we eat and our overall mental health. So that just kind of give you a little background about the mental health diet and where that came from. So yeah, so berries is on the list as a food that can really, really help you boost your mood. So there's so much that you can do with blueberries or berries or whatever, raspberries, any of those berries. You can eat them fresh. I know a lot of those fruits may kind of be out of the season to some extent right now. But well, they're still in season, but you can freeze them, so you can buy them and freeze them and put them in smoothies. You can put them in salads, so you could do like a strawberry salad. And also too, to kind of go back to what we said before in regards to the mood boosting foods, you can do like a spinach salad, and you could do spinach, and you can do like some strawberries. You can put some nuts in it, and then maybe like some type of fruit dressing, and that could be like a strawberry, what they call like a strawberry spinach salad. So a lot of these foods that I talk about, you can actually incorporate them to become one big dish. You don't even just have to eat it alone. I know that's for me. I will say sometimes, like, I'm not saying that I'm like, I'm a good cook, like when I want to cook. That's what it is. I know how to cook when I want to cook, but I will be honest, it's like sometimes it takes a little bit more work for me. Like I basically need a recipe. Like I need a recipe in front of me so that I know what I'm going to cook. Like I'm not the type of cook where I'll be like, okay, I got a can of peas inside the pantry. I'm going to make this out of it. No, I'm more so like, okay, I got a can of peas. I need to research, okay, what can I do with these peas? So, but yeah, so a lot of these foods, like I said, that I talk about today, you can definitely create one big dish into them, or you can just do it separately. You can just have some spinach on the side. I don't know how tasty that is. Well, it can be tasty. You know what? I don't know. You could do a salad, whatever. So yes, number one, the first thing is leafy greens. Number two is berries. Number three on the list is beans. So beans, lentils, chickpeas, they are high in folate and complex carbohydrates, which can support the production of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that regulates mood. So if you ever feel like if you ever ate something, or if you ever worked out or did something, a lot of times what is being boosted is serotonin. That's I would say, the feel good hormone or the happy hormone. And so those foods have been shown to support the production of serotonin for making you feel good. So kind of the same thing that I said before. I was gonna say you can actually make spinach salad and put some. Well, actually, you can. So you can have like a spinach salad, and you could put like chickpeas in it. Now that I think about it, you can do that. But there are a lot of different dishes that you can do now, especially in regards to the season that we're in right now. There are a lot of different soups that you can make. If you have a crock pot, you can make like a bean soup. There are basically a lot of different things that you can do with beans. I'm not like, that's one thing that I will say that I do need to work on more, is eating more beans. I don't know about y'all, but like for me, I eat black beans, but black beans really, really make my stomach hurt. The only bean that I really been eating lately, I would say, is chickpeas. So I'll do chickpeas, or like, obviously, not obviously, but if you don't know, hummus is chickpeas. So hummus is basically ground up chickpeas. So for me, I'll do like hummus, I'll do chickpeas, but I need to start. Actually, I need to start adding that to my diet. I really need to start adding that to my diet. I don't really eat too many beans, but if you are a bean lover, beans have been shown to help produce the production of serotonin. So if you're feeling down, or if you feel like you need a good pick-me-up meal, just, and also too, I will say this as well. If you need finish my sentence. If you need a good pick-me-up meal, go ahead and grab some beans. But also too, I will say, is the nice thing about some of these foods, especially like your beans, you can buy canned beans. You can actually buy frozen beans as well. And it's cheap. Like you can buy a can of beans for like what, especially chickpeas. You can get chickpeas for like what, 75 cents? Okay, maybe not 75 cents. They close to 75 cents, but you can actually buy a can of chickpeas for a very, very low cost. So you're really not spending that. You're not, to eat healthy. Honestly, too, a lot of people say to eat healthy is expensive, but also what is expensive? Because we may say that eating healthy is expensive, but like also you have to look at your bank account. What are you spending your money on? Because it might be expensive because you might be putting your money elsewhere, somewhere else where it doesn't need to go. So that's the other thing I've been trying to tell myself. Like sometimes I'm like, oh well, sometimes I'll even say like, I want to eat healthy, but I got to get all this XYZ. Okay, well, look at your bank account and figure out where your money is being allocated, because maybe you can cut something. Maybe it's cutting a streaming service. Maybe it's cutting back with buying clothes, or maybe I don't know, whatever it is in your life, whatever it may be, you can always cut back on that so that you can do things to help better your health. All right, so number 4 on our list are nuts. So nuts are another food that can help boost your mood, as well as, well, boost your mood and help beat anxiety and depression. So you got the almonds, you got walnuts. There's a lot of different nuts. You got cashews. Those are all good sources of healthy fats. So we have not so healthy fats, we have unhealthy fats, and we have good fats. So those are our good fats. So we got the almonds, walnuts, cashews, pecans, you name it. So nuts are a really, really great food that you can eat. I will say, especially if you're not allergic to nuts. Nuts are really good because you can also take them on the go. So like I mentioned before, I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, there is a gnat. Just don't mind me. So like I've said before, so like if you're working like a job, like I said, an office job, because I used to work like a call center job, and a lot of times like when I was stressed or I just like I need something to eat, I would go to the vending machine and get like some of the snack food. Like, sis, stop doing that. And so that's what I would do. I would get some of the food out of the vending machine to help satisfy not even my hunger, because I wasn't hungry, but to help alleviate my stress. And so one thing that you can do is, like, nuts are so easy to take around with you. Like, you can put it in a plastic bag, put it in your purse if you're a lady, or if you're a man, I don't know, carry it in your pocket. I don't know how you're put it in your lunch bag, whatever it may be. But you can certainly take nuts with you on the go. You can create a trail mix. So for me, I know I love, love, love growing up eating trail mix. Like, yo, shout out to my mom. My mom used to literally, when I was younger, she used to buy like meat. Well, we would go to the store. For one, I used to hate going to the grocery store when I was a child. I really did. And I still, like, the thing about the grocery store for me right now, I'd be like, I don't want to go. But when I go, I enjoy it. But growing up, I did not like going to the grocery store. But long story short, when we used to go to the grocery store, my mom used to buy trail mix, and I used to love the trail mix. So, but honestly, I only liked it because I had the M&Ms. But the trail mix, I think it used to have, I would say, was it peanuts? It definitely had peanuts in it. It had M&Ms, and it had like, I think, dry apricots. It had like different fruits and stuff in it. And I just really, really loved it. And so now, what you can do is you can create your own trail mix with the nuts. So, you can incorporate, and I'm going to get to that too. I keep waving off this gnat. So I know if you're listening to this, you probably don't see what I'm doing, but if you're watching this, you just see me just waving this gnat around. But it's okay, y'all, because we're going to get through it, okay? Listen, we're going to get through this, okay? Period. But yeah, and so there's a lot of different things that you can do with nuts. You can also put it in, some people put like nuts inside their salads. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of like crunchy stuff in my salads, but you can definitely put in your salads. You can also do like peanut butter. So you can get peanut butter. And I always like to reiterate as well. I always say that the best way to get a certain food is in its raw form. But if you can't get it in its raw form, it's fine. So when I say raw form, I mean like, okay, if you're gonna get almonds, you get almonds. Versus like almond butter. So, but whatever it may be, I'm not the type of person where I'll be like, oh, well, if you eat this, it has to be in its raw form. However, if you come to me and say that you want to eat in the most healthiest way possible, then I will say eat whatever it is in its raw form. But other than that, I would just say, if you want to get peanut butter, if you want to get peanut butter powder, that's fine too. I feel like it's better to start somewhere than nowhere. I mean, and that's something I'm teaching myself. Like, I'm kind of an extremist to some extent. Sometimes, like when I start something, I want to go so all in that I want to be perfect with it. But I'm learning, like sis, you got to start somewhere. You don't have to be so extreme. Just start somewhere. So yes. So Nuts, they are great sources of healthy fats, protein, and magnesium, which can have a calming effect on the brain. So, like I said, especially if you are somebody that is working, I would say definitely carry that with you. If you're someone that's always on the go, carry some almonds, nuts, or something with you. I know I used to love going to Trader Joe's. I gotta go back there. That's one place I haven't been in a while. I think I was there maybe a couple months ago, but I would say go to Trader Joe's and they have a pretty big, especially where I live, a pretty big nut section, a nut section. But a couple years ago, I used to really enjoy these coconut cashews. So like honestly, y'all, to be honest with y'all, if you feel like you're having trouble like just consuming nuts, plain nuts, I would also suggest like you can also look into getting flavor almonds or flavor cashews. So while I was like kind of on my well, I still am on my health kick, but when I was really on my health kick of just like being strict and I was going to the gym every day during my lunch break, um what I would do is I would take some coconut cashews with me to work, and so that will help eliminate my sugar craving. And so with the coconut cashews, they do, I believe it does contain cane sugar. So you don't want to eat too much of it because already nuts are high in fat, but like I said, they're healthy fats. But when you add on like the sugar, the cane sugar, you definitely want to be careful. So number five, the next food are whole grains. So whole grains, so foods like quinoa, brown rice, and oats are rich in complex carbohydrates that provide a steady release of energy and can help stabilize mood. And for me, I will say this in regards to that, as a type 1 diabetic, I can definitely say that when I eat foods that are simple carbohydrates, which include like the white rice or just things like with the white flour or enriched whatever, 9 times out of 10, my blood sugar gets very high. And so when that happens to me, a lot of times my mood changes because my body just it can't regulate with it. And so sometimes I get like aggravated. I just don't feel my best because my blood sugar rises. Versus when I eat complex carbohydrates like quinoa and brown rice, my blood sugar seems to stay more stable. So, if you're eating rice and you're eating white rice, I would suggest doing brown rice. Or if you're someone who wants to go, who is plant based or who's looking to for a substitute, I would say quinoa, quinoa rice. You can do that. Quinoa. For me personally, I usually buy it kind of. I think they sell it frozen. Do they sell quinoa frozen? I usually get these little cups. I get them from Aldi's, where it's these like these pre-made quinoa cups, and it has like a little packet on top, like little salsa, where you could pour the salsa in and make like your own little rice bowl. Or also get like the 90-second quinoa is brown rice and quinoa packet. So I do like the brown rice and quinoa. But yeah, so if you quinoa is very high in protein. So if you are plant based and you're looking for some protein sources, I would definitely say do that. But yeah, so whole grains are a really great food to eat if you're trying to help beat your anxiety and depression. All right, number six on the list, another food that I really love, and y'all probably heard me talk about this a lot on the podcast because I really love it. And this is when I realized, this food right here is when I realized, like, wait a second, there is a correlation between the foods that we eat and our mood. Because when I started eating this food, I started noticing a change in my mood. And this food is avocado. So, avocado is packed with monounsaturated fats that can support healthy brain function and improve overall mood. Now, I will be honest with you guys. Like I said, I there's two foods actually. So it's pineapple juice and avocado. I mentioned this on a podcast before that these two foods is when I realized, like, wait a second. This was maybe about, I want to say like back in 2017, and I realized, I was like, wait a second. I noticed like a mood change in me when I would eat these foods, especially pineapple and avocado as well. And so that's what really kind of made me want to get into the graduate studies to try to figure out if there was a correlation. Because when I would eat these foods, I realized I didn't feel as like sluggish. I didn't feel as sad. I felt a lot more better. So avocado, I guess I would say is acquired taste. I like it. I don't eat it plain. I'm not opposed to eating a plant if it's like in a sandwich or something, but I tend to like just, eat the raw avocado, and then I'll just like scoop it out, cut it up, whatever, and put it on some toast. So I like to do like avocado bread. You can also put avocado in like a rice bowl. So avocado, you can either make it tasteless or you can make it tasteful. So you can put avocado in a smoothie. They also sell frozen avocado where you can put it in a smoothie or you can heat it up. I did that before and the microwave started burning a little bit. Actually, the avocado started burning. So I'm like, But yeah, so you can do that. So, or also too, you can make guacamole out of it. But like I said before, is that I personally feel like any food in its rawest form is the best form that it is if you want to get the most benefits out of it. But nonetheless, you can make guacamole out of it. So you can chop up the guacamole and you can add some lime juice, some garlic, some salt, some pepper, and then just, you can eat it that way. But avocado is another great food to help you with beating your overall depression, anxiety. The last one on my list that you guys might enjoy, because I wasn't going to add it at first, but I'm going to add it. But there's a disclaimer to it. But the last one on my list that can help boost your mood and help beat anxiety, depression is dark chocolate. So high quality dark chocolate, mind you, high quality dark chocolate. So 70% cocoa or higher contains compounds that boost endorphins and improve mood. So I'm not talking about the chocolate, like the milk chocolate. I'm not talking about the chocolate loaded with sugar. I'm not talking about your Hershey bar, your Snicker bar, or whatever, or your Kit Kat or Reese's. I love those. I'm talking about, this is the chocolate that's like pretty much bitter. So a lot of people, I know like years ago, people will be like, ugh, dark chocolate. And even still to this day, dark chocolate kind of does have a distinct taste. But I'm talking about the dark chocolate where if you eat it, it's pretty much bitter. But also too, when I say dark chocolate, and if you are consuming it, I'm not saying you eat a whole bar of it. Obviously everything has to have, you have to eat everything in balance. Like you can't eat, I'm about to say you can't eat 10 avocados in a day. That's up to you. But everything has to be in balance in regards to how you eat it. So yes, so in regards to these foods, these are 7 foods that can help you beat anxiety and depression. So those are leafy greens, those are our berries, legumes, nuts, whole grains, avocado, and dark chocolate. All right, y'all. So as always, I always like to end it off, the podcast episode with the quote of the week. And this quote of the week is, temporary defeat doesn't equal permanent failure. Once again, I'm going to say that again. Temporary defeat doesn't equal permanent failure. So listen, even when something happened or take you off your track, keep going. Don't let that stop you. Okay, that's the devil. Listen, keep going, keep pushing. Because listen, you already one step closer than you were before. So keep pushing. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in to today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to listen to this podcast on all podcast platforms, including Spotify and Apple. And if you love this podcast, please make sure you go ahead and leave a rating review. And I appreciate that all so much. And I will see all of you beautiful people next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Mental Health Diet Podcast. I hope you enjoyed our discussion on nourishing your mind and body. If you found value in today's episode, I would greatly appreciate your support. One of the best ways to help us grow is by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It only takes a minute, but it makes a world of difference in reaching more listeners who can benefit from this content. To leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, simply follow these steps. Open the Apple Podcast app on your device, which you already probably have it up if you're listening to me. Click on the show to open the podcast page, which you probably already have up. Once again, scroll down until you see the ratings and review section. Tap on the stars to rate the podcast, and if you have an extra moment, leave a brief review sharing what you love about the show. Your feedback means everything to me, and it helps this podcast to continue to bring you valuable content each week. Remember to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you for being a part of the Mental Health Diet community. I can't wait to catch you on the next episode. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed, and keep nourishing your mind, body, and soul. Period.